episode before the grand opening. This is like where it gets real.
Are you on your Facebook?
No.
Okay.
Cody, smile.
Getting real.
Oh yeah, hold up. August. Hold up, I didn't get the picture. Hold up, you gotta wave. Thank you. How is it?
7:52.
Okay. And then we can start putting some music in there too next time.
I can do that real quick.
Like when it comes on or whatever. Okay. I've been nervous all day trying to get everything in order. It's been crazy.
And then everybody wants you on top of it.
Yeah. Well, wants me to do something. Or,
Banner.
United Printing.
Nice. Check. Yeah. Well,
Don't you got a type on there that was like, we don't own the copyrights?
yeah. Guys, good.
I mean, usually I play music on my Facebook Lives, and I mean, they don't really mess with me too much, but sometimes they'll stop the video. But
It's not a copyright.
yeah, but you do your thing.
You.
Now we can get however we need to get with these mics. I mean,
Yeah, you just adjust it to your liking, like the height and.
I kind of like it like this. Yeah, do you want it like down more?
You can do it to where you guys are looking at each other. You don't have to necessarily look at the camera. Like the camera will be looking at you. So you guys could just have a conversation. That's better because I feel like when you're looking at the camera, it's not as personal.
Yeah,
Like you guys are
more
both looking at each other,
scripted.
just having a conversation. It's more like people are watching and they're like, oh, these guys are just talking. They're just like chilling. Just gonna delete this one. So
You got most people looking on Facebook?
I think so. Is there any other?
YouTube is the only other, but I don't think we're streaming from YouTube tonight.
no.
We'll put it on YouTube like this week.
Okay. Yeah, I just posted your Facebook page.
I am never nervous for a show.
Me either.
Yeah. That's all good.
Yeah, we'll
We
be all
let
good.
God flow. Let's pray.
Yeah.
Hold on, it's not live. You want to pray first, or do you want to pray on the live?
We can pray on the live. You can
It's up to you.
music too.
I don't know about the music. I'm just gonna let it.
Man, the music kind of had me in a good feeling.
Yeah. Need a little.
Or you can just play the beat, the instrumental, or something like that.
Honestly, I don't think Forrest Frank's gonna come at you for. I'm pretty sure he's like. I'm pretty sure he's independent. So.
Should we close this door?
Yeah.
Or we're good?
There's no.
Hey, check.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
This is.
If there's one thing I know. Hey, yeah. God is good.
We gotta know when you're going live though. Now you gotta say like 1, 2, 3.
3, 2, 1.
All this stuff over here is for you,
Thank you.
but I'm gonna talk about New Freedom,
Yeah.
and we got the Tide for Second shirt on.
Nice.
That's yours.
Thank you. Thank you. So awesome. Um, d- Josh has sober living homes.
Like 11 of them.
Really?
Tide for Second.
What does that mean?
That's the name of it.
Oh,
Tied for second.
gotcha.
So if you made it 24 hours sober, now you're tied.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So are they all throughout Bismarck?
Yeah.
And or just Bismarck or the whole state?
Bismarck.
Bismarck.
And they're all different like style. But they're all nice, like real nice.
Yeah.
And they take you shopping. So you can always like, what do y'all want this week for food? And you take me
First time I make.
yeah.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And like, I mean, the one he showed me that he just started, it's down Washington on Glenwood, and it's like 4 acres of land, and they got like turkeys and all kind of stuff over there.
Holy shit. Is it south or
North.
North Washington? Cody.
Cody,
CODY.
south, but
South.
all through Bismarck, north and south, there's houses and condos.
Hmm.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
CODY.
Yep.
Last name?
Werbelow Miller. That's so cool that he does that.
This is your sober birthday today or no?
No.
Oh, this
I feel like the camera is pointing up maybe a little too high.
Is all this new? All your sound equipment, everything?
Everything.
Holy shit, Brandon.
That's what's happening. A little fast. That's what I'm talking about. I just want to turn my phone off and go hide in the woods. Well,
when it's good to have awkward, like real angle, you got it downward. That's what they do. You can get something out of it. Follows like that.
okay. I mean that's cool with me.
But no, it's good to have like I can put it up in my ear.
No, I'm talking about the tilt.
Itself.
The tilt of the camera come down a little bit.
I can't. I'm kind of.
Yeah.
You gotta get your.
Yeah. Just go. I'll tell you when it stops. Let's one of this medallion.
I was gonna say you gotta get your.
But you can go up a little bit. Just have the medallion at the bottom. Okay, it's in here. So I mean, if you can't get it in there, it's cool. All right, that's it.
Perfect. How long did this go?
Depends on how the spirit throws us.
You're alive.
What's up, world?
What's up?
Whoop whoop. New Sober Talk Studios. We're in here. And we're so blessed to wake up alive and sober today. I want to thank everybody for all the support and all the love always. So before we start, we're gonna We're going to say a little prayer. God, thank you for waking us up today. Thanks for another 24 hours sober. I ask you, Lord, just to take over our days and humble our walks and take away our fears and anxieties. We're forever so grateful. We're reporting for duty, Lord, to do your work and do your purpose for us and do thy will and not my will. In your name, amen.
Amen.
I want to thank everybody because it's another episode of Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun, baby.
Woo-woo.
It's weekend!
Yay.
Baby. It's a beautiful day to be alive, sober, and free. Free from the jail cell, free from addiction, and free from the trap houses. Man, I just wanna give a special shout out to New Freedom Center. This is where my journey started back in 2018. That's the day I walked from the Motel 6, crossed the State Street in the blizzard with a black garbage bag, and I finally asked someone for help. So if you're looking to have a change of life, you can contact www.newfreedomcenter.org, or you can call 701-222-4673. Right there, New Freedom Center, baby. Cody, you can have that.
Thank you.
Well, I just want to introduce my guests today. Been knowing Cody since my first sobriety meeting, shoulder to shoulder at Bismarck Community Church. And today's guest is Cody Werbelow.
Werbelow Miller. Yes.
Werbelow Miller.
Got it.
How is your day, Cody?
So good.
You
So
look good.
So blessed. Thank you.
Man, this guy is one of the best dressers I've ever met. He needs his own personal assistant lint roller. And he smelled like he just got back from the south of France. Also, I want to give a special shout out to Tide for Second Sober Living. New Freedom Center and Tide for Second Sober Living have been sponsoring me for some years now. Next month, October 20th, actually, will be 4 years that Sober Talk has been a thing.
Woo.
Thank. But special shout out to Tied for Second and Sober Living. This is our first episode in the new studio. What do you think, Cody?
It's so good. It's so cool.
Man,
Wow.
it's amazing how your life will be. I remember when my mentor, my sponsor used to tell me, I used to be riding bicycle. I couldn't get my license. I'm working at an oil change place, and my check for 2 weeks would be like 80 something dollars. You know what I mean? Because everybody wants their money. And he told me, man, I'm just telling you, you wouldn't believe how your life is going to be a year from now, 2 years from now. And that is the promises coming true.
Absolutely. I just have to say from when I first met you too,
Right.
and I remember you talking about that. And now it's just so amazing to be in here, to be
Right.
with you, but to be in this awesome space. I'm so proud of you.
God's presence,
It
brother.
is. That is so
Thank
so
you.
true. Yeah.
So, a lot of great things going on in the community. Um, Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun. You will be seeing a lot of me in the North Dakota communities if you haven't seen me already. And we're doing a lot of events coming up. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. And um, if you ever need any resources, feel free to reach out. But so my sobriety date is February 12th of 2018.
Woo.
I give it to God, baby. I should have been dead a long time ago.
Absolutely.
What about you,
100%.
Cody?
Mine is June 28th, 2017. So celebrated seven. Lucky
7 years.
seven.
I'll be seven in February.
Yeah.
How does
Yeah.
it feel?
You know, it feels it feels so good. It feels almost surreal sometimes.
Hmm.
Um, Especially towards the end of my drinking career, I never thought that I would be where I'm at and feel the way that I am.
Right.
You know, to be able to wake up not hungover anymore and not regret what happened the night before, not know what happened the night before.
Right.
And to have the life that I have now, it's definitely a miracle and
It is a miracle.
absolutely all God for sure.
Amen to that. You got to give it to God. Um, so I get this a lot, and I just want to ask your opinion on it. So people like, man, time flies. My personal experience, I feel that the last almost 7 years haven't flew by. Like one day at a time. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And I feel like I've worked really hard for everything from ground zero. Below, I was in the negative. You
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? I mean, you could say
Same.
however your experience has been.
Yeah, I would say it's been a little mixture of both. I I do feel that time has gone by fast. I can't believe that it's already 7 years, but yeah, same. At the same time, it's like, one day at a time. You just have to take it one day at a time, especially um, where I was before. I
Right.
can't um, I can't wish for the future. I
Hmm.
can't wish or think about the past. I have to live in the present
Amen.
and live each day um, just doing what I'm doing.
Right.
I can't, I don't want to go back, and I just pray that make it another 24 hours. That's what I
Yep.
pray for every morning.
Well, you look fabulous, Cody,
Thank you,
and
sir.
I can see God just coming out your pores.
Thank you.
Um, Cody, where were you born at?
So I was born in a small town, Havre, Montana.
Okay.
It's northwestern Montana.
Hmm.
Um, but my family moved here, I believe, 4 6 months after I was born. So I grew up in Bismarck.
Okay. You got a pretty cool family.
I
I
do.
mean, when y'all always together as a and move as a unit,
Oh
and
yeah.
I mean, they should have a sitcom. Y'all should have a sitcom because y'all just look so fabulous.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I guess anyone that hangs around Cody for too long will become fabulous. Well, maybe it just was inherited.
I think it was inherited. I'm super close with my family, but especially my parents.
Mm.
They've been married for, let's see, 44 years, something like that. So, but yeah, we call ourselves the Three Musketeers. We have
Yeah,
for the longest time, and we're just we love to have fun, but we're so full of love.
right.
We're full of love for each other, and
I
we're
can see
so
it.
full of love for everybody else.
And y'all just shining out there.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about dress to impress. I mean, and then they just leave a little smell of some pheromones. So, how old were you when you first knew what drugs and alcohol were?
I would
Did you know what
say,
it was?
yeah, I knew what it was. I would say probably 10, 11, 12.
Hmm.
Um, just being around different family gatherings, social gatherings, picnics, whatever. Um, but never expected to have it make it my life,
Right,
control my life.
right. And so, how old were you when you remember first trying alcohol or drugs?
I I don't remember my first drink, to be honest.
Okay.
Um,
Bet you remember your last though.
oh yeah.
We'll talk about that after a while.
Yeah, yeah. But I remember maybe having sips of alcohol, beer, or probably wine coolers
Hmm.
back in the day, but n not anything. It didn't like I didn't get that aha moment or
Right.
that breath of relief, nothing like that,
Hmm.
until probably 15.
Yeah, for me, I remember drinking beer with my grandfather when I was real young. I mean, like 5 or 6 or something like that. But for me, like age 12, I remember smoking marijuana for the first time, and that was my thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is because I was a real I don't want to say hyper, but like charisma,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and it always used to get me in trouble for some reason. And like I'm talking too much or stuff like that. So when I smoked marijuana, it just calmed me, and I had an even cooler charisma. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I came in there like Barry White. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? But alcohol, my teenage years, I did a lot of throwing up, like
Mm-hmm.
Bud Ice. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Oh yeah.
And stuff like that. But with smoking weed, I was able to keep my cool, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think is the gateway drug in people's lives? I hear that a lot, and just from your experience.
I think from my experience, it definitely is alcohol. Um, I think mainly because of the accessibility for it.
Right.
Um, and you start with that, and then it just leads to, that liquid courage
Hmm.
that you get from that, and you can, oh, I want to try this, I want to try this, and then it just
Right.
progresses on.
So I'll leave that out to all the people out there watching. Um, if you can comment, what do you think the gateway drug or substance or whatever? So as I grew in my sobriety, all my life you hear marijuana is the gateway drug.
Mm-hmm.
So I started smoking cigarettes at 9, stealing them from my mom. Benson and Hedges menthols, 100s, and a soft pack. When she was hungover sleeping, I'd go get me one. And then I was like, well, maybe cigarettes was the gateway drug. And then I start raising a child, and sugar, could sugar be
Mm,
the what about acceptance and attention?
yeah, yeah.
And so they say to us that the the root of our disease, of our problems, is selfishness, self-centeredness.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember some of the first words my son started to say was mines.
Mm,
How did he even know that? You
right,
know what I mean?
right.
Like that was already programmed in him when he
So
was
young,
born.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because if you watch a kid, they'll have a toy, right? They'll sit in the back of their toy box forever. And then a kid comes over from down the street and they playing, and that kid starts playing with that toy, and the kid grabs it and says, "Mine."
Mine, yeah, yeah.
And that's the type of things I get to notice sober now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it just puzzles me. So if anybody out there listening, comment on that. What do you think the gateway drug or substance or is? Um, it could be whatever you choose it as to be.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
another question I love in sobriety: what is your DOC? Or what is your thing?
I think.
And so and it's funny because I laugh every time. Everything. At the end of my darkness, at when I hit a frozen bottom in life, I needed it just to get through the day from all the problems and all the resentments and all the depression and all the guilt and shame. I would wake up crying. Like
Mm,
I needed something to get me started,
yeah, yeah.
And it was whatever. I want to be up, down, all around. I want to see stuff. I want to be fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I wanted to, whatever it was. That's what it took to like, and I still couldn't feel all the way good.
right. Yeah.
Um, how was it for you?
I think for me, especially again, same towards the end, it was whatever. I don't, I did smoke marijuana and I tried ecstasy one time, but other than that, I didn't do any other drugs. Alcohol was it, but same thing, like um, alcohol being number one, but attention, food,
Right.
um, just that sense of belonging, that whatever, like you said, whatever it could be. If I wanted to be sad one day, then I wanted whatever would make me sad, whatever made me happy, whatever could get me to feeling the way I wanted to feel at that moment.
Amen to that. Do you not? I do a lot of analyzing my life now that I've healed, and like different things. Like I can remember people telling me stuff at certain times, but I didn't listen,
Mm-hmm.
and it made a whole lot of sense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my brother Jake Lawson. Uh, I forgot to bring you a copy of his book, but I will get it to you.
Yes.
Make It Extraordinary. Um, we grew up together. He's very successful in business and health. He got me started about a year ago on this new health journey, and he's been a mentor and a motivator to me now. So he has his own book and his own page. He wakes up every morning and does Make It Extraordinary
Mm,
stuff.
that's awesome.
And so, and I remember him telling me, just try to stay sober one night, and I couldn't. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't go out in public or in a place where people are dancing and having a good time without like a couple different substances.
Yeah, for sure.
And and so I remember him telling me, I think it's in your blood. Because my I come from a long line of alcoholics.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he knows my family. And he's like, man, I just think it's in your blood. And I remember all them times him telling me that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And other things as well, like just random people telling me things. Do you have those kind of like moments, like through your sobriety?
Yeah, for sure. I think the biggest one, well, I guess it goes together, but I lived in Florida for 5 years.
What part?
West Palm Beach,
Okay.
East Coast, um, like 7 minutes from the beach.
Right.
Yeah, miss it.
Yep. So my mom right now is watching, and she lives in Ormond Beach, Florida, by Daytona.
Oh, okay.
So you got
So,
St. Augustine, you
yeah,
got Ormond Beach,
yeah,
you got Daytona, and then you got like uh, a couple other places. But if you keep going south, you'll hit Cocoa Beach, and then you'll hit like the Space Center.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so, is that where you or you was further south?
Further south, in between like Cocoa Beach and Fort Lauderdale, just
Mm-hmm.
north of Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
But when I was down there, um, my ex at the time was having heart issues.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went to a cardiologist,
From drugs or just in general?
just in general, probably from drinking,
Mm-hmm.
because drank like me. But the doctor asked, how much do you drink? And
Mm-hmm.
um, he was more honest than I was. But at the end, he said, I'm not going to help you
Mm-hmm.
until you help yourself. And kicked us out of the room. But he followed us out to the waiting area,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a prescription, and what he wrote on it was AA.
Mm-hmm.
That was his prescription. He said, this is only medication I'm going to give for you is AA. So, he told us that. I was crying because I knew
Mm-hmm.
that I did have to, again, somebody telling me this is what you have to do. So I thought I need to change too.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I started making like a calendar of how much I can drink certain days and certain weeks to try
Okay.
to cut back.
Okay. You was rationing yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
And did you follow
I think for a day
it?
it lasted.
uh so how was like high school in Bismarck? Did you graduate?
Yeah,
You look like a
graduated
I
high school.
graduated too. I don't know how, but I did.
Oh,
Where'd you graduate from?
Bismarck High,
Okay.
2001.
I graduated in
So,
2000.
oh, okay.
Yep.
So we're
Yep.
very close. Yeah,
That's the millennium.
yeah.
I'll never forget it. When two at midnight from 1999 to 2000, it was our senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And at this time and age, we were going to raves and all through the city of New Orleans. It
Mm,
was a whole nother world. I recommend not going to raves. And so, uh, and you know they had all the year
Yeah,
2000 conspiracy,
Y2K.
yeah, and
Yes,
all that.
yes.
So, uh, said I'm not even going tonight. I'm going to stay at the house party. I'll see y'all when y'all get back.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember they came back. It was like, man, you should have been there. It was just like it was cool. But it's crazy because all through high school, I did pills. I think it started off as like mini thins and purple footballs and all these different, and then it was just like more and more different stuff, sandbars. I mean, it was just like a steady flow
Yeah,
down there.
yeah.
And so I used to smoke weed every day at the bus stop, and then when after I'd eat lunch at school, and for my graduation, during like the morning of and during the graduation,
Mm-hmm.
I decided that I wanted to remember it. I wanted to remember because in actuality, for most people, that's a landmark. Their first, I mean, you can have achievements before, but like a first big achievement.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it was a great feeling,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And so I didn't smoke, but we threw the graduation party, and then it got real crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I like wrecked my girlfriend's parents' car, and we was leaving for the military like in a couple weeks. It was crazy.
yeah, yeah.
So how was high school for you? Were you popular?
You know, it's funny you say that. Junior high, because it was junior high, not middle school then, and I hated it. Those were the worst years of my life. I
Right.
hated who I was. I had no friends. When I got to to high school is when I really kind of started drinking.
Hmm.
And so when I experienced drinking and, kind of my first drunk, um, that following Monday when I go to back to school and people are like, "Oh my God, you were so funny last or this weekend,"
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden it was like I arrived. I was popular then at that point.
Hmm.
And so by my senior year, I felt like I was part of the popular crowd.
Hmm.
And that was all I wanted my whole life
Right.
was to be popular. And if it meant getting stumbly drunk, stupid drunk, whatever the case may be, as long as I was liked, that's what I felt like I achieved something finally.
How was it growing up in the '90s in Bismarck? What's the worst blizzard or temperatures you remember in your whole life? Like,
Mm.
there's got to have one that was like,
Well, the temperatures was last
yeah,
January when we were
yeah, negative
in
70.
negative 70, yeah. But growing up the winter of 97, I mean the people were walking on top of their cars.
That's how
That's how deep the snow was.
man.
And then we had the flood of 97, not so much here, but up in Grand Forks and stuff. But
Okay.
that was the worst.
Um, so for years you were a champion nationwide or worldwide, I don't know, hairstylist, or what did you?
So, 2007, I graduated from cosmetology school in Fargo. Moved to Fargo for 5 years as well. So,
That's when you really blossomed.
that's when I really blossomed. I thought I'm getting out of Bismarck. I'm moving to the big city of Fargo, North
Mhm.
Dakota. Um, that's where I turned 21. Um, I was, managing and decided to go to hair school. And so, yeah, 2007 was when I graduated hair school. And a lot of the reason why I did that was because when I would look at hairdressers and I would see, makeup artists, because I am also a makeup artist, was the parties that they would have after,
Hmm.
the fun that they would have on stage or whatever
Hmm.
the case may be. As a hairdresser, you make people feel good and look good,
Right,
but you also get to party and have fun.
right,
So it was kind of the best of both worlds for me.
right. Did you ever have any cocaine stages?
I did not,
Okay,
not one.
just mostly alcohol.
Just all, yeah, mostly alcohol.
And when did you ever kind of like? When did it like? Because at the beginning it was fun.
Yeah, a
You're
lot of
doing
fun.
hair, you're hanging out with the best of the best,
Yeah.
and you're partying after shows and different events.
Mm-hmm.
Um, anytime, like anytime did you like some crazy stuff happen or you didn't remember and you was like, man, I need to chill out, you know?
Yeah.
Because I remember a lot of times people was telling me, it was like, you remember what you was doing last night? I was like, no. It was like you was robbing everybody, or something,
Yeah.
just something. And I was like, for real?
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, you know, instances like that, it would be I had all my clients that I loved, and we became family, and then I'd be out at the bar and who knows what, making a fool out of myself, and then the next time, I'm face to face with them, and they're like, "Do you remember talking about this or doing this?" I'm like,
Right.
"Oh God, no! I said that, I did that, and you're my client. You're
Mhm.
paying my bills. You're supporting me,
Right.
and I'm acting like a fool."
Right.
So it was a lot of embarrassment, a lot of embarrassment.
So how long did you work in that field? How many years?
Um, I would say, let's see, over 20 years between doing makeup and hair. But I taught, I got my teaching license for hair as well.
Hmm.
So I taught at the hair school. Um, and that was hard too sometimes because, to try and be a role model to students
Right.
and sometimes showing up hungover or still drunk or whatever, I wasn't a good role model.
Right.
So looking back, I don't feel good about that. I did not like myself for that, but the next day I'm right back at it,
Right.
having the fun and doing what I could do. So I would say behind the chair or working doing hair, it was about 16 years that I did that.
What kind of tournaments or shows or things that you won? Do you have like trophies and big, big like? Because my mom watching in Florida, when I was growing up for many years, she did hair,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember her like going to these shows in Fort Lauderdale
Mm-hmm.
like every year. Uh, I used to hang out with her after school at the beauty parlor,
Yeah.
and um, and then she used to want to try all this new stuff on my head, like a highlight with a cap, and she got to pull it through. And I'm like, man, that
Mm-hmm.
hurts.
Dig it into your scalp.
Yeah, I mean, walking around looking like Zach Morris. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Um, but I knew how it was. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because they always worked hard Tuesday to Saturday,
Yep.
and then partied Saturday night, and then uh, recouped
Yep.
on Mondays,
Yep.
and then got back to it.
Yep. Yep.
And they always had like these products they sell, and you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and different stuff like that. So I know I kind of can relate with the life because I seen it
Yeah.
at a young age.
Yeah.
Um, so what kind of type of things have you won, or like something that's like? Because I know you were like more than just someone that cuts hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, I started off doing makeup.
Okay.
Um, I went from selling shoes to women's shoes to um, somebody from the Estee Lauder counter asked me if I wanted to do makeup. She wanted me to come and work for her. I'd never done it before in my life.
Hmm.
Um, and so she hired me, and I think she regretted it at first after she saw what I did, but I was determined to make it. Um, and then that's what made me decide to go to hair school. I wanted to do it all because I saw one of the makeup artists, a national makeup artist, and he not only did makeup but did hair. So that's when I went to hair school. Shortly after I graduated, I worked for a company as a national makeup artist.
Hmm.
So one of the biggest things for me was they asked me to do the Midwest Beauty Expo in Chicago,
Hmm.
that 50,000 some people attend.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking I'm going there. I'm just doing makeup on the models backstage, getting them ready to go on
They got
stage.
you center stage.
They told me, said, get your microphone ready and you're going on stage. And I said, I'm not.
You bring your earpiece?
I had the Britney Spears microphone hooked up and everything. I said, I can't do this. I'm this little shy kid from North Dakota. I don't do this stuff. And they said, you're going up there.
Yeah,
And so I did it, and it was when I got done, I said, when do I get to go back on again? It
yeah.
was such a good feeling. And so then that's when I started teaching. And so I've been super blessed with the different opportunities that I have had. When I taught at the hair school, I got certified in quite a few things with Paul Mitchell, which is a huge,
Yep.
huge brand in the cosmetology industry.
I
Um,
think my mom, if I'm not mistaken, she showed me taking a picture with him,
hmm
like in like the early 90s.
Yeah, yeah, that
Yep.
same. I had John Paul, who's partnered with Paul Mitchell. He came here, and I got to do so many different shows and see so many things with Paul Mitchell. When I moved to Florida, I did Miami Fashion Week. I did hair for Miami Fashion Week, which was super cool
Hmm.
to be able to be part of that, backstage. But then again, afterwards, the celebrities are there. Then the party starts, the drinking, the
Hmm.
show begins. Then
Right.
after.
Um. So at what point did like bad stuff start to happen? Because, and the reason I asked that is because it was all fun and games, and I had like this connection, like the gift, the gab.
hmm
I truly felt in my heart that like when took, so I took ecstasy a lot more than one time. I started taking ecstasy at age 14, and I probably took an amount of pills that would probably kill man dad.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's funny because I've healed from it,
Yeah.
but that was my treatment choice for a long time.
hmm
It just I felt like it gave me like the movie Limitless.
mm
I take
hmm
a pill and I power up,
Yeah.
and I could just pull off the most ecstatic stuff, like get a free penthouse on a polar bear rug. You know what I mean? And like
Right.
it's all kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and I loved it. I
hmm
loved to be able, and everybody like looked up to me. Everybody wanted to be around me, and I and
Yes.
I more wanted to like show other people that you can do it too. You know what I mean? Like watch this, and then stuff like that usually didn't happen started happening.
hmm
You know what I mean? Like
hmm
a bad situation. I'm like, well, this don't usually happen. You know what I mean?
hmm
Uh,
Yeah.
bad luck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't really believe in luck now. Like back in the day, I did.
hmm
Like I'm gonna get lucky tonight.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna find the sugar mama of all times. And so, but I don't believe in luck at all. I believe if you're on the right frequency with a higher power, that it's just gonna keep flowing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Happens for a reason.
But you have to do a lot of work to get that clean channel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that connection of blessings.
Yeah.
And so um I know like when days everything started going wrong. But it took me a long time to realize
hmm
it.
hmm
And so like it just kept happening and kept happening and kept happening. Um how many treatments have you been to?
I did one treatment, outpatient treatment.
In Bismarck?
Yeah.
Where at?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what is it?
Parkview?
No.
West Central?
Yeah. West Central.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a little I remember I walked into West Central uh looking for some gas money. For real. I was out my mind and I walked in there trying to get a gas, see if I can get a gas voucher or someone. And you know who finally did it? The Red Cross. I went in there. I went in there, and I was coming down off of drugs here in Bismarck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whoever he was, the chaplain commander or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And he went. We went to the gas station and he filled my tank up.
Wow.
And I rode around on that for about 2 days. Up, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And then it sucks when you're in that darkness and you're in that phase and
Mm-hmm.
you like in your you still have a car, but you go to sleep in the middle of winter and you wake up and your car is out of gas
Mm.
now because you've been running and
Yeah.
trying to stay, or the battery's dead,
Yeah.
or whatever. You know what I mean? And but that's some of those dark days.
Yeah.
Any
For sure.
DUIs?
Yes.
How
Yep.
many?
One. One
Here
DUI.
or in Florida?
Here.
Okay.
Before I moved to Florida. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, coming from an event, a party.
From from a bar. It was right after work. I went to the bar, skip dinner, skip everything. Let's get to the bar. Let's get the party started.
Mhm.
Um, and again, I felt now again just my feeling, but I thought I was like the king of the town.
Right.
Everybody knew who I was.
Yeah.
Every bar
You
that I
had
went to, I had arrived.
jazz
Yes,
music played
that's
in
right.
places uptown.
Yep.
When I
Yeah.
first read that, it was like me getting kicked out of the military at the end and moving back to New Orleans. It
Mm-hmm.
was like I had arrived.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody, because now we're growing up.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's how I felt too.
Yeah.
Everybody knew me. I didn't have to wait in any lines. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I got to the bar, they had a shot ready. They knew what I liked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
And if you didn't like it, you still took it.
right.
Somebody bought it for you.
You cannot talk smack. You trying to get fired on your first date. You know what I mean? That's that ego,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes,
And
big time.
and so you left the bar
Left the
and
bar and I was driving with the headlight out. Was, you know, people were telling me don't drive, you got the headlight out, whatever. And I was right in front of, I was living with my parents at the time, of course, in their basement and right in front of where they lived. And I got pulled over. And I knew that it wasn't going to be good.
right.
So I asked the officer, can you please just arrest me?
Hmm.
Please don't make me do the sobriety test. I don't want to do it. There's people watching, like just arrest me.
Hmm.
But he said, no, I can't. I can't do that. Um, so I failed, obviously.
Yep.
And
So you got a mugshot out there somewhere?
I had tried to look for it,
We should
and
find it and put
yeah.
it on a T-shirt.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good one. Yeah, it would be a real interesting one because that was in 2012, so it's been a while. But um, yeah, he took me to the hospital to do blood work, and from the hospital to jail, he said, you've been super cooperative with me. Um, and I thought, yes, he's not gonna
Right.
take me to jail.
Right.
But instead, he said he's gonna let me wear my handcuffs in front of me instead of behind me from the hospital to jail.
Oh, he
So
gets a sticker.
he did,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's give him a t-shirt.
Feel
Let's
like
give him a
y'all
talk
bonded.
t-shirt. Yeah, we did.
Right.
Um, it was, yeah, the worst feeling. But they took me to jail. They said you can call anybody to come pick you up. I couldn't get a hold of anybody or anybody sober. So finally, I just said, let me, take me to my cell.
Hmm.
Let me just spend the night here. And so I was on, yeah, a little thin gym mat, and
Yep.
I
Well,
passed out, you know, thank God. But I woke up to Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire playing in the background
perfect.
and the smell of prison breakfast being made, I think.
Yeah.
Um, and I had to work that morning.
Hmm.
So I was trying to get out as fast as I could, and they, took their sweet time letting me out. But so
Any alcohol poison that had to be in the hospital? Any things of that nature?
not not that time. I guess really not any time. I did. I remember them saying I blew a .274
Hmm.
when I got my DUI, so quite high.
Hmm.
And then when I got sober, the first day that I went to West Central, they I had drank right before, and they told me that I had to go get the banana bag beforehand. But
Who was your counselor or your?
Coco, rest in peace, Coco. She passed away, I think, last year.
Okay.
But she was hard. She was hard, and
Mhm.
she told me that, you know, they were going to do random testing,
Mhm.
and she told me that I had tested hot,
Mhm.
which I said I don't know how that's possible, but she didn't believe
Right.
me. But um,
This is
anyway, I
outrageous.
know,
Must have been that
unbelievable,
taco I ate earlier.
right? But you know, I did 30 days there, and my last day there was another guy that graduated with me, and you know, she was telling him, "So proud of you, you did such a good job. I see great things for you." And she told me, you know, "Good job, Cody." And then she followed me out to the parking lot when I left, and she said, "You know what? What you shared with me and with the group these past 30 days, there's no hope for you." So my 30th day of treatment
She came outside and set it on fire. And you
done. Yeah, blew up. I felt worse on my last day than I did my first day.
right,
But looking back, I know that she meant to continue on. Like this little treatment here isn't going to keep you sober. You
right,
have to keep working a program.
right,
But at the time, I was so mad at her. I thought, how dare you? If you think that I'm not going to be able to make it, then how am I going to think that I'm
right.
going to be able to make it?
That-
And that's when I had to continue on with meetings and a sponsor and everything follow. So
Um, you stopped doing hair after you got sober, right?
I did hair for about 5 years after I got
Yeah,
sober.
I remember. Um, and it's crazy because my mom did the same thing. Just one day, like that, said I'm never doing hair again. Like she wouldn't even like cut my hair or style it or nothing. She just, and that's what I heard. That once people stop doing hair, that's it.
They're, they're just done. I think for me, you know, after doing it, after being sober, it was more so about how you do make people feel. It was so just the best feeling in the world.
Right.
And making that connection with my clients. I
Yep.
loved it so much and got so much more from it than just a paycheck.
Right.
I truly did. Um, but and I hate to even bring it up, but with COVID, you know, our salons had to shut down. So I decided to go back to college.
Right.
And that's what I went back and got my business degree because
Okay.
I didn't know
Right.
what to do. And then just physically, I'm sure the years of drinking and doing what I did, my body, it just took its toll.
Yeah.
So physically is a lot of the reason why I stopped doing it.
Doing swan dives off the chair. You know.
Right. And landing on your back and
Yeah.
your ribs and head and everything else.
Yeah. So what do you do now?
So now I work for a corporation in their legal department
Okay.
as a legal specialist. So
Okay.
um,
So
just
if I need some advice.
don't come to me. Oh, I'm no lawyer, no nothing like that, but
Right.
um I help out attorneys and
Yep.
kind of assist
You
them.
like it?
So I do. I really
You get the stress
enjoy
flying.
get to dress fly. I get to do Monday through Friday job, so I get weekends and nights to be with family and to do different things. You know, we foster kids. Um, and you know, spending time with my family is the most important thing to me. So
Amen to that.
yeah,
So what led you up to your first day of sobriety?
I knew when I moved back from Florida, I was going through a divorce. My drinking was at its peak.
Mhm.
It was
And you already had the prescription.
dangerous. I already had the prescription. I didn't fill it. I didn't fill the AA prescription. Um, but you know, that was I moved from Florida back to Bismarck.
Mhm.
I left the ocean. I left, you know, the Sunshine State back to the frozen tundra. I'm going through a divorce. I'm moving into my parents' basement.
Right.
I don't have a job.
Yep.
I'm an alcoholic, um, and I can't live this way. But I did, I didn't get sober right away when I moved back here. I continued for about a month, um, but I just knew that I couldn't live in my parents' basement forever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I tried filling out job applications and I couldn't even do that because of my shaking
Mm-hmm.
from
So you had the
withdrawals.
tremors.
Yeah, big time tremors. So I knew that if I didn't change, I wouldn't be able to work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I said, this is it. Um, I didn't realize this at the time until after I got sober. I talked to my mom about the different people that were in treatment with me and how they talk about hallucinating and going through tremors and all that. And I said they'd been through some rough stuff. And my mom said, You don't remember, like
Mm-hmm.
probably a few nights before I went to treatment, that I was hallucinating. I said I was seeing people run in front of us. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't realize, I don't think how severe it had gotten for me.
Right.
Um, I don't really remember a whole
That's when
lot.
you detoxed.
No, I was still drinking
How did
when.
you detox?
So detox, I plan on going to West Central, and I feel like I was like, okay, of course, let's start on Monday. Let's
Mm-hmm.
make it through the weekend. Let's start on Monday. And I don't think they took new patients on Monday. So
Uh-huh.
I was so thankful I got one more night to drink.
Yeah.
Um, I drank before and on that Tuesday, and then went there. And before she would do an evaluation, I had to go down to the emergency room and detox. So that's when they did the banana bag of
Right.
IV fluids and stuff. So that's when I detoxed. That was the start of it. Um, and then that night, following morning, was awful. Severe, severe detox, severe tremors. Um, they'd medication, and I told my mom, if this doesn't work in the next few hours, I have to go back to drinking because I
Right.
can't be in my own skin. I can't be in my own head. I
Right.
can't do this. I cannot live like this.
And a lot of people out there have went through those same situations. It's
Hmm.
crazy how we all come from different places, different backgrounds, different stories starting off, and it all ends the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts that you mentioned detox at the hospital?
Hmm.
So in Bismarck, North Dakota, for all the people listening out there, the only place that you can detox is either in the hospital if they have a bed available, which doesn't happen all the time,
Right.
and in jail.
Hmm.
So I know there's a detox center in Dickinson, North Dakota. I know there's one in Fargo, Moorhead,
Hmm.
maybe a couple other places, but there's not one here. And I have got numerous calls throughout my years of sobriety and helping people uh, of a person just detoxing on the sidewalk. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And
Hmm.
no safe place to go. They can die. You know. And what are your thoughts on that? Because I just heard the topic brought up a lot recently, and uh, I heard that there is, I don't know what you want to call it, a petition or a ballot
Hmm.
or something
Hmm.
that uh, is trying to get approved for a detox center right here in Bismarck, North Dakota. What are your thoughts on that?
I think especially for somebody who's, been able to detox at the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
um, obviously I'm grateful for that, but I've heard people say that, the emergency room has turned into a place for drunks to go to detox,
Right.
for them to sleep it off or whatever the case may be,
Mm-hmm.
which, it's not the case all the time.
Mm-hmm.
People need to do it, and they need to do it professionally and medically because it can kill you just
Right.
detoxing on your own. So if
Mm-hmm.
we could have a detox center here in Bismarck, I think it would be fantastic.
Right.
Um, by the time somebody were to drive to Dickinson, which is what, an hour, a little over an hour away, or Fargo Moorhead,
Yep.
almost 3 hours away,
Somebody could die.
somebody could die, or they might change their mind and go back to drinking.
Right.
So I think we need to think about what we say and what we think about, the emergency room being just a place for people to detox, to get back out into the streets to do it again, because that's not always the case.
Right.
But if we do have a detox center, maybe that can kind of end that stigma a little bit.
Right. I think that it's a difference when you cross that invisible line.
Yes.
That it becomes a necessity, not just something fun.
Right.
And I think alcoholism everywhere is big, but for some reason, North Dakota is a NDSU, a Vikings, a Green Bay, uh, seasonal depression.
Yes.
Let's go hang out in the bar,
Yeah.
or let's sit home and drink.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
is. I mean, I would see like back in the day, a blizzard would come and you can't get to the grocery store, you can't get to the gas station, but you could always get to a bar.
right,
Everybody always made it to the bar all the time, and the
right.
liquor store,
Yeah, even
you
if they
know.
have to hijack a moose, if the snow was too
Yeah.
high.
Yeah.
So, you detoxed and then you started going to recovery meetings. Did you meet some people? How did that all come into play? Because I know exactly the first time I ever saw you, and you was like sparkling up there.
Um, so I went to West Central and I was doing treatment, but going to meetings at the same time. I have a family member who was in the program as well,
Mhm.
and so she said she was going to Tuesday night shoulder to shoulder meetings, and um, I was scared to death.
Right,
I didn't know the first time that I was introduced to AA or knew about AA was that prescription pad.
right,
I didn't know anything about it
yeah,
before. So I didn't know anything about meetings, what to expect, what was going on.
right.
I think it was probably a week after I'd started treatment, so just whatever they talked about in treatment.
Did you get a sponsor?
So my it was my first meeting. I remember the speaker. I remember scared to death. But I had my mom there and my niece and a couple other people there. But um, a lady came up to me after the meeting and she said, "Do you have a sponsor?" And I said, "No, I don't really know what that is." But she said, "I'm going to introduce you to somebody." I did have multiple people come up to me with the AA card with their phone numbers on it. My niece
Right.
actually commented on that. She
You were
said,
on fire, huh?
"Yeah, she's like, you're so popular here already.
Mm.
People are coming up to you, giving you their numbers and reaching out to you." But um, so I did get multiple numbers, but Brian was
Mhm.
my first sponsor,
Right,
and he's the one who started me on the journey, to be honest.
right. And rest in peace, our brother Brian.
Yes, rest in peace, brother Brian. We miss
Shout
you.
out to the Thomas family. Shout out to his mom, Rain, and everyone that Brian's life touched. So the first meeting I ever went to was shoulder to shoulder. And the two people that I remember seeing is you and Brian. And y'all was dressed to impress. And I'm still like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm still twitching and stuff, and I'm like, man, I got all these clothes that's I've been roaming the streets in, and then I look at y'all, y'all had a glow, and y'all had fine threads on, nice shoes, and I was like, that's how I want to be again. I'm supposed to be fly. I ain't
Yeah.
supposed to be no bum with stinky socks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And um, and I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then when I got out of New Freedom Center, shout out to New Freedom Center. Um, while I was there, I found out about Hope Manor. Well, back then they had Hope Manor Sober Living, they had New Freedom Center, Hartview, West Central, and then they had Teen Challenge. That's
Mm-hmm.
the only ones I heard about.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I filled out the applications for Teen Challenge and Hope Manor, and Hope Manor. I kept calling, and Megan and them were in Ireland or something. But I kept calling. She was like, "Oh, you must be serious."
Yeah.
So when they got back, she came in and meet with me and stuff, and I was like, I don't have nothing. I'm in the negative. I don't have no phone. I don't have no money. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you give me this one chance, I promise I won't let you down. And they did.
Yeah.
And when I got out of treatment and I got to Hope Manor, who opened the door? Brian.
Brother Brian.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, it's the dude with the shiny bald head that dresses good, clean.
Yes.
And he hugged me and he told me, he said, if you fix what's in here, something miracle magical happens. I don't know how to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
And from that day on, me and Brian started to build a relationship.
Yeah.
And we just did his suicide walk at the Capitol. We lost Brian this year with a few others, and that's the first time I cried in a long time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like everybody had their own experience with Brian, and I had one that I never forget.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so uh, he definitely. I lived in a house where he was managing, and we definitely had an impact on each other. You know, and so I'll forever know that he's flying over us and looking over us.
Yeah. 100%. I think you know, I how do you thank somebody for saving your life?
Right.
You know,
And
like how do you do that? Somebody that sat with you continuously week after week after week for 3 months straight, you
Mhm.
know, um, when you don't know what kind of demons they're battling,
Right.
but he still took the time, you know, to talk with me, to go through the book, to answer the phone when I would call him, when he would answer the text when I would text him.
Mhm.
Um, so, you know, somebody that has such an impact on me, but when we went to his funeral
Mhm.
and to see the amount of people there,
Couldn't fit nobody else in there.
no, you couldn't. And to see how all of us, brothers and sisters, went up there and put our chips in that basket
Mhm.
was probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
Amen.
It was so awesome. So I've lost some family members, you know, being sober, and it's hard. It's hard dealing with death.
Mhm.
Um,
Especially when it's someone that helped you
yeah,
at the beginning, because
right.
I felt the same way.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I asked Brian to be my sponsor, my mentor at the beginning, but he said he couldn't because we lived in the same house.
Oh,
But he picked my sponsor still to this day. He said, I got somebody I think is perfect for you. And he wasn't lying. So
yeah,
I'm forever grateful
yeah,
for him
yeah,
for doing that.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. And to, you know, to see the people at the suicide walk too, um, to bring awareness to it,
Right.
you know, that it is
And it wasn't just Brian's. They had many
right,
people that were influenced by someone that's no longer with us.
right. And you know, a lot from the program, a lot of our brothers and sisters, unfortunately, that we have lost. Um, but to come together to raise awareness for it and to end the stigma about it, I
Mhm.
think is a huge thing. I've taken some classes and gotten certified in mental health, and to to just end that stigma, you know, and to realize that alcoholism and drug addiction or any addiction is a mental health issue.
Right.
You know, it's a disease that
Mhm.
we can't help, you
Right.
know. So um to do things, to be here today with you, having this, to bring awareness to it
Amen.
is truly, truly amazing.
Right. It's the promises.
It is. It
You know,
is.
it's the promises.
Yeah.
So, how do you stay sober today? Like, what's a day in the life of Cody retired from the beauty world into the legal
Legal world.
business world? Do you
Yeah.
have a briefcase?
I I don't have a briefcase. I have a little Coach leather
Okay.
portfolio bag. Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Smells
I
good.
think I'm gonna get me one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
you. Yes,
I'm
you
gonna get
need
some
one.
real leather though, and
Yes,
I'm gonna hit it with the leather and the wax.
yes, yes, for sure.
It's like when you wake up, what do you do? Do you have a routine still?
I do, and it's funny because my husband will poke fun at me. He's watching, I think so. Um, but he says my routine is so strict and to the point every day. So he says if I um, get interrupted at any point, I'm completely thrown off. Like
Right.
I'm in such a routine, and I didn't realize that for the longest time.
Hmm.
And so I do have a strict routine. We'll let our dogs out, feed them, make coffee, and then I pray. I meditate. I pray. I read my daily reflection.
Hmm.
Um, so I spend a lot of my morning while I'm getting ready,
Right.
thanking God for what I have,
Hmm.
be with me the next 24 hours. And I do, yeah, my meditation and
Hmm.
praying in the shower. And
Amen to that.
yeah,
Um, do you go to a certain amount of meetings a week still, or how is that going in your life?
you know, I, I think we always say that we can do more. We can
Yep.
always go to more and need to be better, need to be better. I do have a home group. It's Thursday night, Three Legacies at the
Okay.
Hub,
At the
7
hub.
p.m.
Shout out to the hub
Yeah,
and the 321 coffee at 321.
yes, yes.
Um, and
So good.
yep, actually, I got a voucher for you.
Coffee voucher?
Yeah. So when you're at
Yes,
your home group, you can get a coffee
yes.
on Brother Brandon and
Brother
Sober
Brandon,
Talk
thank you.
and coffee at 321.
Perfect. Thanks, brother.
Shout out to
Appreciate it.
Jake.
Yes. Yeah, I chair that meeting Thursday nights, and so I have seen how important it is as a home group member that you have to show up.
Amen.
Um, Not only for me, for the rest of the home group, and for the newcomer,
Amen.
and for everybody that comes to the meeting for that matter. So just to be there to make sure that we still have a meeting, um, it's it's pretty cool because we go through the steps, traditions, interview with an alcoholic. Um, we just had somebody, Wendy
Hmm.
Z, that used to live up here that lives in Texas
I
now.
know when this.
She,
She was a big part.
yeah, she zoomed in as our guest last night. So it's just really cool to see, people zooming in from Jersey and Texas and all over the country,
Hmm.
really, and to be in person. So I, yes, the answer to that is I could get better at going to more meetings, but for sure Thursday nights.
Um, have you ever went to the Spiritist retreat yet?
I have not done
You're
that.
missing out.
I know.
You and your partner are
Yes,
missing out.
yes, we
Uh,
will.
I've been the last 3 years,
Okay.
and it's amazing. It's just something I want to give a shout out to the Spiritist Institute and all the people that been there doing sessions and all the attendees. It's a great reset.
In South Dakota.
Dakota in the
Yes.
Black Magical Hill.
Mm.
Yep,
Okay. Putting it on the calendar for next year.
yep. Labor Day weekend.
Okay. Deal.
You heard it. It's out there.
Yeah.
So,
No going back now.
yep. So Judith, Ryan, they're gonna be on you.
Okay. Deal.
Um, couple side questions. What's the best facial cleaner?
Best facial cleaner. Oh,
I mean, you had a lot experiences in that line.
yes.
What do you think are some of the top three?
Oh.
Or like when I say facial cleaner, that means like it could be anything. It could be a mask. It could be a pore cleaner. It could
Mm-hmm.
be whatever.
Um,
So,
let's see what.
so I've been using True Grit from the new place that's in the Kirkwood Mall, the facial place.
Oh yeah.
It, it
The
the factory. or something like that.
Yeah.
And they do facials and
Yes.
mini chemical, whatever they call it. I got
Yeah.
one of those one
Yes.
time.
Yes.
But there's some stuff called True Grit
Okay.
that I use in there, and I kind of like that one. But what do you think is the top three for people that really want to like keep a smooth face?
Um, for the longest time, since I worked for Estee Lauder was good. Juice Beauty is a
Okay,
good one. That's a clean line. Dermalogica is a good one.
okay,
Um, there's so many out there now that I don't even know, and I haven't been
right,
into it that much, but um, Juice Beauty
okay.
for sure.
You heard it straight from the
It
master.
is, yeah.
He's like a retired kung fu master up in the hills. What about shampoo and conditioner?
Shampoo and conditioner.
So one thing I've used, um, I remember like throughout my years, I like tea tree shampoos because it gives
Yes,
you that cool.
yeah.
But I used what's the one that makes men's hair grow? Minoxidil.
Minoxidil.
What do you think about that? Do you think it works, or do you think it's like kind of bad over time or something?
Um, I I've heard both. I've heard it works for some people. Some people have not um had any results from it. They're coming out with a lot more natural
Mm-hmm.
things that,
Cabana oil, whatever it's called,
yeah, castor oil.
that works.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. Castor oil, I think, yeah, that's what it's called. Um, tea tree is always good for the scalp. That's what I was gonna say. And they have so many different lines
What's a good
within,
moisturizer for women's hair or men? Like some women, um, their hair will get frizzy and dry.
yeah,
Um, with especially with North Dakota, it's
yeah,
something that's you think is one of the top three or top two conditioners or moisturizers.
Purology.
Purology.
Purology is a good one. The Redken line is a good one
Okay.
too. Those were two that I worked a lot with.
What's your top three colognes for men and the top two or three for women that you think are the hits?
The hits.
Because I've
My hits
yeah,
that I like,
yeah.
well, Versace is the one that I have on right now. That's
What
probably my
what
favorite.
kind?
I think it's Eau Fresh. I don't speak French, so
Okay.
Eau
Oh,
Fresh.
oh, oui, en
Eau
français,
Fre-
français. Huh.
Parlez-vous français? Eau Fresh, Tiffany's
Mhm.
for men, and Dolce& and Gabbana, the one.
The Dolce and Gabbana was,
Yes,
I mean, that was a hit for a long time.
yes,
Uh, what about women? So there's women out there listening right
yeah. Tiffany, Tiffany for her,
now.
or
Hmm.
Tiffany Love for her. Um, and then I love the Coach, women's Coach,
Versace too.
and Versace.
That
Yes,
the I don't know, it's lemon or diamond. It's yellow.
yes,
Yep.
yeah,
And so that's the last one that I bought for my fiance, and she
yeah,
loves it.
yeah.
Um, but the reason I asked because I remember back in New Orleans, and we were at a bar, and outside in the back they used to cook, and you can go once you get drunk enough, you can go out back and get you some parboiled oysters or some ribs or something. And they had a fan because it's always hot and humid in the south.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman, this girl walked back there, and she was standing in front of the van, and all us, the men that were back there, whatever she was wearing was, I don't know what it was, but it was like, it did something. I was like, everybody was like, what is that? And she was like, but I think it was some kind of like Jimmy Choo or something,
Oh
but
yes,
it had to be expensive. It wasn't nothing cheap.
yeah.
It was like fresh off the vine or the flower or something. But all of us was like, man, and
Mm,
I still remember it.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't know what it was, but when we all started saying like, what is that? It was like 8 people, and she was standing in front of that fan, and she said,
Oh God, that's great.
"Yep."
Uh,
And so well, thanks for that knowledge,
yeah,
Cody.
yeah.
Um, you got any shout outs?
Of course, shout out to my husband. We just celebrated our 3-year anniversary.
Congratulations,
Thank
brother.
you. In August, it's been um, truly amazing to have gone through what I went through. You know, I was married before, but ne
Toxic.
toxic, very toxic. He keeps me in check.
Mm-hmm.
He is so supportive and so loving and caring. He doesn't drink. He's a
I
normie.
was gonna ask that,
Yeah,
and I was just waiting if you would say
yeah.
it.
He's a normie, so he can, but he chooses not to.
Right.
Um, and he just is so amazing in life.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing at so many different things,
Mm-hmm.
but at loving,
Right.
you know. Um, I didn't think I could love again, to be
Right.
honest. I really didn't. I didn't think I could love myself. I didn't think I could love anybody else.
Me either.
And I
And my
didn't
heart,
want to.
my heart is still defrosted.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right.
I didn't want to, but and we actually dated like 13 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
but my partying days were more important, and so it didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
And then God brought us back together again, and
Amen to
this time
that.
I said I'm not gonna let him go. So
Well,
shout out to my husband.
you look so happy.
Yeah, thank you.
You look so
And my
happy.
mom and dad again, they're just two of the most amazing people ever. They have seen me at my worst, um, and they've been with me through it all and seen me at what I like to say is my best,
Mm-hmm.
or what I tried to be
Mm-hmm.
my best at. I I have put them through so much,
Mm-hmm.
and they still supported me. You know, I was trying to count how many times I moved back home throughout my
Right.
adulthood, and they always allowed me back in, and they would today, you
Mm.
know. But we truly have such an amazing relationship. Um, my mom and I go to coffee almost every weekend, and we sit at Shields. If anybody wants to stop by Shields, we sit out on the bench there and we people watch and dog watch, and we just catch up on life, and it's it's amazing. I can remember my conversations. That picture that you had posted about me coming, I'd been on the phone with my mom prior to, and I fell and we got disconnected, and then there was nothing. So she didn't know what happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so now I can, and a lot of times I didn't remember talking to her. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't remember what I said. So now we get to have good, meaningful conversations that I remember. So shout out to my parents, my sisters, my nieces and nephews, my amazing friends, and Brian's mom, I think is watching, Renee. So
Yep.
shout out to her because we would I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her and her awesome son. So
Amen to that.
yeah.
Um, what's your favorite dish to eat? Like if you had one last meal, and what would
Oh
it be? It could be anything.
God. I am a pizza lover. I love pizza.
Mm-hmm.
We make our own pizza. We grill pizza, get pizza from all different places. I just love pizza.
Amen to that.
It's so
I've
good.
ate a lot of pizzas in my life.
Yes.
I've made a lot of pizzas in my life
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Um, if you could travel one place in the world that you haven't been to, that you kind of seen, dreamed of in the back of your mind, where
hmm
would it be?
I, Traveling is one of my favorite things to do.
Me too.
I absolutely love learning new culture. I
Mm-hmm.
love seeing different places, even if it's just in North Dakota. I love going to small towns. I love traveling all over. So I have been blessed through my work and um, different ways I've been able to travel. I've been overseas um, to Europe, but I've always wanted to go. to Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's probably my number one
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Okay.
Ask me tomorrow. It might
Tomorrow
change.
be Saturn.
Yes. I watched The Amazing Race. I'm a fanatic, and
Right.
so I think we should be on that show someday and
Right. I've
talk.
been a lot of different countries myself. Um, joining the military at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
So dream big, folks. You know
Yes.
what I mean? You can. It's a lot more than the world than just where you're at. And
Mm-hmm.
and like even in New Orleans, a lot of people didn't leave New Orleans for the first time till Katrina hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I left for boot camp after high school at age 17, that was my first time flying on a plane. So uh, travel the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Get out there, enjoy it, because it's just so awesome to meet different people
Right. It
and to
is.
learn so much about them, but you learn about yourself too,
Right.
I think.
And don't be prejudiced and
Yeah.
keep an open heart
Yes.
and a humble. And then
Yes.
everywhere you go, if you're living a good life, most times you'll be just fine.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But me, before I got sober, I always found the underworlds.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I did get through all that fine too, but I no longer have to live below.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm living up here.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
says your head in the clouds and your feet on the ground,
Ground.
helping people.
Yes. One of my
It's
last flights that I took, I was flying from Vegas back to Florida, and I was so going through withdrawals that I had to get a drink on the plane, but I couldn't even pour it. I had to ask the stranger next to me to pour it because I didn't want to spill it on her. I had a major anxiety attack. I had to go back to the flight attendants and ask them, like, I said, I need help. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm freaking out right now. And that was the worst experience. And I don't have to deal with that anymore. I don't have to have
amen.
crazy anxiety on the plane anymore. I get to enjoy it.
Amen to that.
Hmm.
Well, congratulations, my brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
7 years of sobriety.
Yes.
Who would have knew?
Who would have
You
thunked
know what I
it?
mean? I
Yeah.
love you.
I love you so much, brother Brandon.
Thanks for stopping
Yeah.
by.
Thank you.
Any words to wisdom to the people out there in the world of that are struggling? They can't stop drinking. They're stuck in a dark place. Um, if you had any words of wisdom, what would you say?
You gotta keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Hmm.
And do it one day at a time. Being 7 years sober, I still sometimes have to pray. Every morning I say 24 hours, but then I say sometimes 1 minute, 1 second, just be with me, God. Help me through this. Because in the end, He does.
Hmm.
Um, and reach out for help. Um, get to meetings, get to a treatment facility if you need, but um, just keep on. It gets better, it gets easier.
It does.
Um, when you think it's not going to,
Hmm.
it does. And I
Um,
think we're proof of that for sure.
well, thank you, brother.
Yes, thank
You
you.
are a light in my life and in the community.
As are you. I
And
appreciate you so
yeah,
much.
I appreciate you as well, Cody. And we appreciate you guys for keeping the show alive. Um, lots of resources. Shout out to New Freedom Center and Tied for Second Sober Living. Um, they are a big part of my journey, and it all comes full circle. And I want to give them a special shout out for supporting Sober Talk. That's where I first started my sobriety journey at New Freedom Center. And shout out to Hope Manor as well. That's my family. Shout out to the Hub. Shout out to Hope's Landing in Dickinson, North Dakota. Sober living for men and women. Next Saturday, we're having the Sober 5K race. Um, it starts at like 10 a.m. in the morning. You can still register or you can just show up. It's going to be a bunch of sober people running through the city of Dickinson. I will be there, set up. with my loudspeaker and hyping the show up and interviewing people, and we'll have all type of sober talk merch. And I got a special for the holidays that's fixing to start. I'm doing a giveaway raffle. I actually got my permit submitted today. That will start next week. It will last all through the holidays, and on December 21st, we will pull the winner of J Dobo Best Spice in the Land. Will come to your house if you have a family, or he can just come cook for you personally. But he's gonna come. He's gonna wear a chef outfit, apron, the hat, and he's gonna cook you one of his fine cuisines of J Dobo recipes. And also, you're gonna get a gift basket of Sober Talk gifts and J Dobo products. So that stay tuned. That raffle will start next week, this week coming by the end of before the sober race in Dickinson. So I will be posting it also throughout most of the end halfway through October and November and December. Sober Talk will have a vendor booth in the Kirkwood Mall for the holidays, and different days I will be giving away different items throughout the holidays. So we're gonna have a raffle for a custom bike from Wild Rides. Um, I will be posting pictures of everything. We're gonna give two bikes away. We're gonna give the December 21st giveaway of J Dobo come and treat you to dinner at your place and the gift baskets. So stay tuned. And all type of events are going on. And I just want to thank all the people that have helped me in the Sober Talk journey. Uh, all the organizations. Special shout out to Josh Olson. Special shout out to Steph Jokum and Dave Marion from Prairie Recovery Center. Special shout out to Judith Roberts and Megan Frankel and Ryan. Um, and special shout out to Jackie at New Freedom Center. All these people have showed me much love and have recognized that I came from nothing, and my true purpose in life is to help other people and be a voice. And when you find your passion in life, do it, because we're all born with a purpose from our creator, from our higher power. And the reason we have so many troubles in life is that we're not doing what our purpose is. So get rerooted in faith, uproot yourself from fear. God is not the author of fear. God is not. So reroot yourself in faith and watch the fruit that grows on your trees. October 7th at MRCC, we're having the first Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun event. We're going to be in the farm, aka the farm down South Washington. We're bringing barbers, hairdressers, singers, and speakers, and we're giving resources to all the men. It's just going to be a great day that they can feel like they are people again. And when they get out, they have all kind of resources that they can change their lives forever.
Mm, that's awesome.
And I'm so thankful for all the people that are going to participate. I'm thankful for the correction facilities in North Dakota that let me go in and let me come back out the same day. I appreciate that. But a lot of events coming up. Shout out to J Dobo, the leading spice in the land. Uh, we'll be doing some shows in Newtown, North Dakota, uh, and all over going on. You can follow him. You can order some spice. Shout out to the F5 Project, Adam Martin. That is a mentor of mine. Um, he's doing great things, and his life was turned around, and he's turning around a lot of people's lives. Recovery Reinvented is coming up October 30th. You can sign up for free on the website. Um, when you walk in, Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun, will be set up in Recovery Reinvented, and I will be grabbing people as they come in, even when you try to run fast, and you will get a couple minute interview. If anyone would like to donate to Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun, all the proceeds that we raise from these raffles, from these donations, all go to us doing events. Thanks to the people that donated already, we were able to get a new outside PA tower speaker with mics so we can do more events as God continues to bless us. But if anybody needs help or resources or just want to talk to somebody or want to be a guest on the show, just message the show, give me a call. If I don't know the answer, I know people that do, but we do have lots of resources. Shout out to Father's Farm up north. Um, Shout out to Chris with a K, and shout out to Matt. This is his first week in Father's Farm. Um, Much love, and always remember, after you, God. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the first episode of Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Raging Cajun, in the brand new tiny home studio. Shout out to New Freedom Center, Tied for Second, all the sponsors that sponsor my show, the Chieftain, uh, Kennel and Grooming by Nishu Bay, all the different sponsors, House of Fade, Resurrection Tattoo, Exhibit A Tattoo, and all the people that support Sober Talk. Shout out to the ladies at Treasures of the Sea and Earth. There's some wonderful ladies in there, and they give nothing but good vibes, and they know that it's a movement going on right now. Shout out to Res Runners. Uh, My brother Ruben, he's been God put him in my life recently.
Mm.
And shout out to Serenity Bridge Sober Living right here in Bismarck, North Dakota, CJ and Lane. And shout out to all the people that's just staying sober one day at a time, that's being parents, being sons, uncles, dads, being role models, and being the person that you're supposed to be, the woman that you're supposed to be. And take it easy. Easy does it. Don't take yourself so serious. And what you're worried about right now, you won't even be tripping on 2 weeks from now.
Hmm.
But much love from Brother Brandon with Sober Talk. Follow the page on Facebook, YouTube, and more to come. Thank you, Cody,
Yes.
for coming
Thank you so
and
much
and
for,
and and visiting with us today. We're forever so grateful.
yes, I am so grateful for you. I forgot to give a shout out to my sponsor, Steve. Um, Shout out to him, but
I was gonna ask you
yeah,
if you still had a
yeah,
sponsor.
yes, Steve, good
Okay.
guy. He's awesome. I'm forever grateful for him as well. And again, thank you to you, Brandon. You are such a bright light in everybody's life,
Well, thank you, brother.
and everything that you do. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well.
Yeah,
Well, I hope
awesome.
everybody has a safe weekend. And if nobody told you yet, we love you,
We
baby.
love you.
Here's the chicken breast.
Okay. So now, hold up. He left? Yeah. We need to, what do you need? I just want to know, like, because sometimes I have to go in there and set it where it doesn't delete in 30 days. It's all new to me.
Yeah.
I see it. Let me get this stuff
What's that?
situated.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Are they action figures?
So
Yeah.
is it automatically gonna
Yeah,
post?
it's basically a video.
Yeah. Create a
Okay.
reel from your video, trim your video, create.
That is
from
so
your video.
cool. What else did you find?
So they posted?
Like monsters, that's toys,
Okay.
plushies.
Yeah.
And then it recorded as well, right?
Yes. Are you gonna go trick or treating for Halloween?
Is it?
Yeah.
Save video. Yeah, you can do that. But What that said? Go back. What? I don't know. You clicked it said all the people that were watching, or what was that? Like a bunch of names popped up. Oh, that. Oh, liked. Yeah. Something else. So before we start, it sounds good, man. It sounds good. This is all yours, brother. Hey, stickers and little stuffs. Wow. And you got your shirt as well.
Yeah, your shirts are over here.
Well,
Oh, you can download it. Is that what you want to do?
yeah, because he wasn't streaming Facebook, right?
He was streaming Facebook, not YouTube.
Yeah, not YouTube, but then we can edit it and put it on YouTube.
Yeah. Pretty good.
What's the thing with the barbers and stuff?
Uh, so I got approved to have my own event in the minimum security down in Washington,
Yeah.
and October 7th, it's a Monday. I'm bringing in Shelly. You know Shelly from Serenity
Yeah.
that does hair.
She used to do my hair.
She's coming. She's gonna sing and do hair.
Wow.
I got a lady that used to do hair. Now she's like a something in F5, like a hair coordinator or something, but she's gonna do hair too. Uh, the House of Fade, the Puerto Rican, he sponsors my show. I promote him. He's gonna come. And then the native guy that cuts hair in the mall, in Gateway Mall, Savoy,
Mm-hmm.
he said he would come. I'm not sure though, because he hasn't got back to me. And then I think that's it.
What time?
It starts at 10 a.m. and it lasts us till like 3 or 4. Yep. And then I got speakers. I got Big Man coming. Destiny, his daughter, she might come sing. I got Dwayne. It's like this big, swole, short black dude. He used to be in AA, and he works out a lot. But he's been sober for years and did time in Cali and all that. I got him. I got this Res Runner pastor guy. Yep. We're not paying for nothing right now. You haven't been ordering everything, huh? We went from dollar stickers to $120 action figures.